Good afternoon, everyone. This will be part 5 of the chicken coop, I think we're up to now. Yeah, part 5. So just going to continue with the fencing, continue and finish up the coop, get everything prepared. I think the focus on this one is going to actually be the fencing and getting that stuff done. So thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. All right, so this is where we're at on the fencing. This is everything's cured and in. Probably gonna end up putting one more coat of paint on this before I actually install the fencing. I have T-posts done all the way on this side as far as they're gonna go. There's basically 4 T-posts, 3 here on this side of the coop, and then there's one on the back side, and then the next one is going to end up being a post up there, and that'll be the top corner. So there will be a post, a post in the middle, and then a post on the back side. So there will be 5 posts up there where the fencing wraps around. Then it's going to come back down. I believe we're going to just go around this cook pine because it's right in the spot where I was going to put a post anyway, so we might as well just use it. We have the T-post mounted or installed, I guess, on the back side. This one is just straight into rock. So basically all I did was I cut the flanges off, which you see on this one, there's flanges. So this one is actually going into rock as well, but I wanted to throw just a little bit of concrete in here, pull that YV fruit out that fell in there. But yeah, this one is basically just straight into rock. So you cut the flanges off, and then I have the 1.5 inch drill bit for my hammer drill, and then basically I just drilled down about 16 inches and then just pound this right into it. So this one's like totally sturdy, it's not going anywhere. That's what you have to do for solid rock. And then here is going to be the post holes for the 2 posts on this side, which will end up completing this, and that's will be where I put the gate. So we're still working on digging those out, and that's it for the fencing. Continuing on with the coop, I went and picked up another piece of the paneling today. So I will go ahead and get the door made and the paneling that's going to be on this side. And then over on the nesting box side, I need to install the 2 pieces of paneling that are going to go on either side here, and then the coop will be pretty much done minus painting. So this is, and I guess trim pieces too. I'll be adding some corner trim pieces just like I have on everything so far that I built, and then this will get painted blue on the siding to match everything else. All right, I have this piece cut out. Basically I took one whole piece, which was 48 inches wide, and then the height of this. The piece I cut out here is actually going to end up being the door, and then this piece was just cut out because that's for the window for the screen. So this piece is going to go up, and then I'm going to put 2x4 backing on the piece I cut out, which will be the door, and then I could mount the hinges and mount the door. Not bad. All right. Nice. So the Doors on. I may or may not end up doing some kind of a trim, but it'll probably just end up being like that. I mean, that's good enough. Maybe I might put a little backing on the inside, a little 1/2-inch piece just around the edge, but it's not like it needs to be really sealed. So, and then I just have a latch that I'm going to put on here. Okay, latch is on. This side is pretty much done. So yeah, time to go get started on the other side. So all that's left over here is I just need to cut the pieces that are going to go here. One on either side, get those nailed in. And then the coop for the most part is done. I'll still need to add the trim pieces on the corners. And then of course paint it eventually when I buy paint again. But yeah, pretty much there. So the coop is for the most part done. Like I said, I have some trim work left to do on the corners, and then of course painting. I think everything else is pretty much done. I think I'll probably end up adding a handle on that door too. I mean, the latch is good enough to pull, but probably end up adding that, and then painting once I get the paint. So now I think I'm going to start stringing out some of this fencing on this front half. Okay, I'm going to get started on this fencing, and this is just standard chicken wire, 20 gauge. It's galvanized coated metal, so it's supposed to last a long time. And it is 48 inches tall, so 4 feet, and then it's 150 feet long. So I think that this is going to be enough for me to wrap all the way around the back and come all the way up here. Should be enough to do it in one solid piece, hopefully. So I'm going to get started on this. All right, fence is loosely laid out, and what I'm going to do now is I have this come along. I'm going to put a brace on the fence, so basically a 2x4 on either side. Attach the come along to the bumper of my FJ, and then I'm going to tighten it down to stretch this fence out. And then once I stretch the fence out, then I'll start attaching it to the T-post and then finish anchoring it. Right now it's only anchored in on the very front post, not on the second post. So once I get it stretched out, then I'll do all that. All right, so I got all this on. I got the fence pulled fairly tight. So what I'm going to do now is just start anchoring it to all these posts. All right, so I have this all stapled onto the fence posts here, and then I'm going to continue on with the T-posts. Nice skull. So on the T-posts, they have these clips which get wrapped on there, so they kind of hook around to both sides. They go behind the T-post and then hook onto the fencing, and then you crimp them down with a pair of pliers. All right, so I'm going to have to get something else to do these, because these clips I don't think are designed for chicken wire. So you can see this is like loose. I mean, it's kind of holding it, you know, with some tension now, but it's not holding it very well. So I'm gonna have to find something else, which means I'm gonna have to take another trip into town. So I think I'm done with this for today, and I'll pick up once I get something new. But a little bit of progress.
All right, I forgot I had some stainless steel safety wire. So I ended up using that, which I don't know if you can distinguish it between the chicken wire. But I use that to tie this up. So this is all tied up now. This one only has a couple ties on it because I'm still figuring out. I think in the meantime I may end up just routing the fence here, going around that tree, and then going back down to there, because I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to dig these post holes and get these posts mounted up there. So temporarily it may end up going around this tree and then back down. This T-post and this T-post are both in, and what I'm working on now is these holes for these posts. And since I pretty much hit solid rock on both of these, what I decided to do was just make it bigger so there's more surface area, even though I can't really get as deep here. I figure that'll make up for it in keeping the post steady. Plus it's going to have, you know, cross beams just like this. So, and I may end up doing concrete again there if I have enough. And then I'm also going to put a block of concrete in between these two posts. And then that's going to be basically what the fence is going to be just above. That way I don't have to worry about trying to figure out something to seal underneath the fence or the gate, you know, when opening and closing. So that's what I'm working on now. Next thing I guess will be getting these posts ready and then mixing cement and pouring these once I get to that point. Hawaii dogs eating the YV. All right, I got these posts set up and I am getting ready to pour some concrete. All right, got that poured. I clamped on a couple 2x4s here and just poured in the leftover that I had. So that way I have a nice flat surface for the gate to open and close on, or, you know, just above, without having to worry about anything crawling underneath or digging underneath. So once this starts setting up, I'll have to shape it up. I was hoping I would have had enough to fill this up, but it didn't quite work out that way, but it'll be good enough. All right, so it's the next day. I pulled the forms off of this cross piece, and these posts are now freestanding. I took the braces off. I don't think the cement is, you know, totally cured up yet, which is a little weird because it was the fast drying kind. But it's solid. It just still looks a little shiny, which is kind of weird. But anyway, it's good. It's gonna sit. The next thing I'm gonna have to do on here is I'm going to have to cut in the slots for that top post. I didn't do that because I wanted to make sure that everything was even. These posts ended up being a little bit taller, even though I measured them the same as what these posts were. Yeah, so I may end up cutting these down a little bit and then moving this down a little bit as well. The thing that I'm going to work on now, though, is I bought this heavy-duty deck sealer waterproofing paint, and I'm going to put that all inside here on the floor. So I'm going to actually pull the nesting box out, and then I'm going to paint everything on the floor just so it's sealed, because, you know, there's going to be chicken poop and other stuff in here. So I want to make this as waterproof as possible. This is the product I'm using that I'm going to paint the inside of the coop with, and it basically will just seal the whole bottom of the coop. So it's actual waterproof coating. And then I got to use this crazy roller. So we'll see how it turns out.
Wow, that stuff is thick. It's like cream of wheat. So pretty much covered everything. I went up on the sidewalls a little bit there. Basically anything that's going to be in the bottom few inches, I tried to cover. Yeah, man, that stuff is really thick. I guess that's why you needed that special roller to roll it out like that. So this stuff actually is supposed to fill in cracks and holes and all that. It kind of, I guess, just melds together to make a nice waterproof barrier. So that should be good. So today I picked up this stuff, which means we're getting very close. So this is just some bedding. It's kind of like a straw mix. Great for chicken coops. This is 16 layer crumble. So when you have egg layers, you need to give them what's called a layered crumble. They have 16, I guess, is the most common, and then they also have 18%. And then this is the, if you can see what that looks like right there, just crumbles. That's what will be on the inside of the coop, along with their water. And then this is scratch grains. So this is what you throw in the run on the ground, and then it basically teaches them to forage and peck in the ground. So, and it also gives them some other stuff to eat. There's corn and other grains and stuff in there. So yeah, almost there. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. I wanted to go over the costs a little bit because I had a couple people asking about that. So this is going to be just for the chicken coop itself. I think so far in materials, I've spent, I want to say probably close to $600, between $500 and $600. That was for the 4x4s, 2x6s, 2x4s, the metal roofing, the paint, the whitewash sealer paint, the paint that I bought for the, the deck sealer for the floor of the coop, the plywood for the coop, 3 pieces of paneling, siding for the outside of the coop. The screening that I had for the windows, I had that laying around, so that wasn't really included in the price, as well as the screws, because I just buy a big box of the construction screws. So that sort of stuff I had laying around. But all in all, for the chicken coop build itself, I want to say it was between $500 and $600. Now the other stuff that I got, like the chicken feeder, I think was $18. The chicken waterer was, I think, $36. The chicken door, the locking door, was a little more expensive. That was, I think, $67. And then the nesting box was the most expensive thing, and that was about $165. Plus shipping on that, which ended up being a lot coming to Hawaii. The other stuff that I bought on Amazon didn't have shipping because I have Amazon Prime. So all in all, for the coop itself, I'd say, I mean, what was all that? $800 roughly. And it's pretty much ready to go. The stuff that I bought today, which was the chicken scratch, the 16% feed, layered feed, and the bedding, I got all that at Tractor Supply, and I spent, I think it was about $45 for those 3 bags. So not too bad. I'll have to keep track of that as far as how much the chickens eat and what it costs to feed them and all that, as compared to buying eggs. But of course, the eggs that I get here are going to taste way better than, the eggs you buy in the store. And they're not being shipped from the mainland or wherever they come from, because a lot of the stores here, the eggs that they get, they come from the mainland. So that's not really fresh. The other thing I wanted to say too was I'll put the Amazon associate links in the description again. So if you guys get a chance and you're going to go buy something on Amazon, please click on my link and then do that. It doesn't cost you anything, and it gives me credit for the associated sale. And then the other thing I wanted to say is you'll be seeing this video on Friday if you watch it the day that it comes out. I've been trying to post videos pretty much every Friday. Right now I've had enough projects to keep doing that, so I want to try to continue doing that. If I do in the future or not, I don't know, but that's my plan, is trying to always put a video out every Friday. So this Saturday is when I'm actually picking up my hens. So you guys won't see that in this video. Obviously, that's going to be on the next video. So you'll get to see when I actually bring my hens home. And yes, I know I'm not done with the fencing and the gate and all that yet. When I actually bring the hens home, they have to stay in the coop for about 5 to 6 days before I let them out. And the other thing too is, I think temporarily the fence is just going to wrap around the back side of the coop and come down to this side of the gateway here. And then we'll work on adding the posts at the top of the run later on, and then rerouting the fencing. I'm not going to cut the fencing off. I'm just going to pull it tight and temporarily connect it. So that's going to be it. Getting really close now. Like I said, it's Thursday today, so Saturday I'll have chickens, and then they should start laying eggs in about 30 days or so, because they're almost at point of lay. They're pullets. They're 5.5 months old right now, so usually in that 5 to 6 month range is when they start laying. So yeah, excited. So I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Aloha.